What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Moment with Chris. I'm your host, Chris Rossetti. Today we have a special guest from our studio video production class. Welcome, Nicold Santos. Welcome to A Moment with Chris, Nicold.
Thank you for having me.
You. Have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. So glad you're here today. Just want you to relax and enjoy the interview. Just take it easy. But let's start off with some questions here. First of all, do you listen to music mainly for the lyrics or for the music itself, the instrumentation?
I would say the lyrics, definitely.
The lyrics, fascinating. If you're listening to music, do you like the radio or do you like live music over the other?
I prefer live music.
Great. Next question, if you won the lottery, what would be the first thing you would sell?
Nothing.
Well, that would save you a lot of time and money.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you could take a vacation anywhere, for example, where would you go and why?
I think I would like to go to Colombia and go to every single place in Colombia because that's where I'm from and I would like to explore that place.
That would be wonderful. That's very nice. Well, my assistant is bringing in 2 bottles of water. Here they are right here. And what we're going to do is ask you another question. This is a more serious question. What I want you to do is take a look at these real quick. Now concentrate and focus upon them, okay? It's your job. It's your job to decide. And by the way, the job has no pay attached to it.
Okay.
It's your job to decide which one is real and which one is cake.
Wow. Can I touch them?
You can point to them very carefully. Which one is real and which one is cake?
You know, I'm going to have to go with the right choice and say it's the right one.
That's actually cake?
Yes.
Make up your mind. Focus. Is that, look at the other one. See?
I think it's the right one.
Now, one more time. Look at this one and look at this one. Which one is cake? Oh, never mind. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go on to our commercial break here. That's right. Today's program is brought to you by our sponsor, Lactate. Are you suffering from lactose intolerant issues? In other words, do you spend a lot of time in the bathroom during meals, after meals, and before meals? Let me suggest you take about 20 of these every day before each meal, and you'll find things are running just wonderful afterward. Remember what we like to say: if you have lactose intolerant issues and you take this beautiful medicine, fast-acting lactase, what we like to say in our house is all right, a straight flush beats a full house. All right, now let's get back to some questions. Welcome back once again to our show. Another question I'd like to ask you today: what are your top favorite movies of all time?
I think La La Land for sure.
Mm-hmm.
After Sun, because, one happy one, a sad one, and Up, because...
Fascinating. Next question, and thank you for answering these questions. Would you rather walk to work or carry your lunch?
Walk to work or carry my lunch?
Yes.
I think I'd rather walk to work.
That's incorrect. All right, let's move on. If you were to meet your older self and see yourself now, in other words, if you were to meet how do I phrase this? If you were older, and by the way, I'm not inferring anything, but if you were to meet your older self now, what would you say? What would surprise you the most about yourself?
That I'm older.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Very deep.
Very deep. Like a well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
One more thing. If you could add a word to the thesaurus, what would it be and what does it mean?
Now that's a tricky one.
Oh, the word is How do you spell that? What does it mean? Fascinating.
I know.
You are a multi.
I should create a whole language.
You're a multi-complex individual. All right, final question. If you were a worm, would I still have done this interview?
If I was a worm.
Yes.
Yes, I'd be a very interested worm.
Flat worm or round worm?
I want to be a round worm.
Fascinating.
Sounds
All right.
cuter.
Let's move on now. Let's get down to the real business at hand here today. My assistant is returning here, and she's got some wonderful items for you to look at. So I want you to take a close look at these items. All right, pay attention, please.
Yes.
And just look at these items, and I want you to choose. I want you to decide which one of these objects is cake. Take your time.
I can only look.
You can only look. You can't touch. You can't eat. You can't even smell. You just must look. And which one is cake?
You know, this is a very close one, but I'm gonna go again. Technically, the right one again.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nico. I'm sorry. Let me take this away. However,
But that's the right choice.
I'm sorry, Nico. Hang on. Look, all is not lost. Here's something else I want you to look at today. Take a look at these two. Now, think carefully, okay, please?
Okay.
Think carefully. Which one of these is cake, Nico?
You know, if I had to choose,
You have to choose.
I'm gonna go with the right one again.
You know, I sense your logic that right is being right, but right is not always right. I'm so sorry. Fortunately, the questions are not over, and you still have an opportunity to choose correctly. So here we have our lovely assistant coming one more time, Nico. All right, one more time, Nico. Now listen to me. You've been a wonderful guest. This has been a great interview. Your insights have been amazing, and I want you to focus as hard as you can. Focus and decide right now which one of these objects is cake.
Well, that's an obvious one. It's obviously the left.
Try it again. Which one of these is cake?
You know, I think it's the left one.
One more time, Nico, before we throw you out of the studio. Which one of these is cake?
It's all about perspective. I think it's the left.
You think it's the left one?
Yes.
No! This is my left! I'm sorry, Nico. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have. That's the wrong one. This has been a moment with Chris, and let's give a big round of applause to Nicold Santos. She did a great job, although she incorrectly identified cake over and over again. Chris Rossetti reminding you, we'll see you next time if you turn the TV on. Goodbye.
Was that the show?